One peaceful evening, a young beautiful woman called Oma sat on a plastic chair outside her house, looking sad. Her husband had just told her that he couldn't afford the expensive lace and gold necklace she wanted for her friend's party. She felt embarrassed and frustrated because all her friends have gotten theirs. Mama Stella, their elderly neighbor, walked by and noticed her. "Oma, my beautiful daughter, why are you sitting here all by yourself, looking sad?" the old woman asked, pretending to care. Oma wiped her tears. "Mama, Patrick is not trying at all. Other women are wearing the latest clothes and expensive jewelry. My husband always says there is no money. Imagine the uniform that all my friends' husbands got for them without issues. They even collected extra money. I didn't even add a dime. And my husband is telling me there is no money. Tell me, Mama. Tell me, is this fair?" Mama Stella sat beside her and shook her head slowly. "My dear, truly, this is wickedness. You are too young and beautiful to suffer like this. A woman like you deserves a man who can take care of her needs without excuses. I personally will not allow my daughter Stella to marry such a man." Oma looked at her sadly, without saying a word. Mama Stella kept discouraging her every single time she sees her. She would bring stories about women who marry rich men and now live in big houses with domestic workers who do all the house chores. "You can't eat love," she told Oma one day. "Soft life is what matters. If your husband can't give you comfort, you should leave and find someone who can." Those words began to ring a bell in her head. She thought about it and started questioning her feelings. Is love enough? No, I don't think so. Love can't possibly give me the good things of life. Oma started comparing Obinna to other men. She stopped smiling at him. Whenever he gave her money, she would frown and say, "Is this all?" Her husband noticed the change and asked her one evening, "What is wrong, Oma? Why are you no longer happy? Did I wrong you?" She looked at him bitterly and responded, "I want a better life. I want more." Patrick was shocked. "Really? Am I not trying? Or is it about your friend's wedding uniform? I told you to give me some time. I have a lot going on right now. I will sort it out." She stood up and left angrily. What Oma didn't know was that Mama Stella had a hidden plan. Her daughter Stella had just returned from school. She was single and her mother wanted a very good man for her. She saw Patrick as the perfect man for her daughter. For that to happen, she needs to kick Oma out of the house so that she and her daughter could take over. She increased her advice to her, telling her to pack out and save her beauty for a better man. After another quarrel with Patrick, Oma left the house. "I'm done suffering," she shouted. "I deserve better." She moved back to her parents' house, expecting support and praises. But her parents were shocked. "You left your husband, a good man like Patrick, because he could not buy lace and necklace?" Her father asked. "I'm totally disappointed in you." They asked her to go back, but she insisted that she was done with the marriage. Few days later, Patrick came begging her to come back home, but she told him to go get himself a wife of his class. He left sadly and never returned. A few weeks later, Mama Stella sent her daughter Stella to go and greet Patrick and helped him with house chores. She cooked for him, gisted with him, and made sure he laughed out loud with joy. Patrick was lonely and sad, and he slowly began to enjoy Stella's company. She was a nice young girl, beautiful, funny, and calm. Months later, Patrick and Stella grew closer. She respected him, supported him, and never complained. Soon, they got married. Mama Stella was extremely happy. Her plan has worked. One fateful day, Oma came to visit a friend in the area and saw Stella wearing her old wrapper and standing in front of her former home. She was curious and decided to ask questions. "What are you doing here, Stella?" she asked. Stella smiled and responded calmly, "I live here now. I'm married to Patrick." "What?" Oma almost fainted. "You are married to my husband?" Stella smiled again. "Your ex-husband, you mean?" Oma left with so many unanswered questions in her mind. When she got back home, she locked herself up in her room and cried bitterly. "I was foolish. I didn't know I had a good man. Now I have lost him forever." Her mother shook her head when she heard what happened. "We warned you, but you refused to listen. Now you are crying over the same man you humiliated." Soon, everyone in the area heard about what Oma did and the reward she got. She left her husband's house and was replaced by her neighbor's daughter. People mocked her. She wanted soft life. Now she has soft shame. Everybody talked and laughed. Oma tried to move on. She met new men who promised her heaven, but after a few dates, they would disappear. Some slept with her and blocked her number the next day. She began to realize that no man was ready to marry a woman who left her husband over material things. They only wanted to enjoy and go. She told her friends in pain. Patrick and his new wife Stella lived happily with 2 lovely children. They supported each other and built a peaceful home. Patrick got a higher paid job and opened a very big shopping mall for Stella. Oma heard the news and cried bitterly again. Oma picked up her journal and wrote, "I had a diamond, but I threw it away, searching for gold. Now I have nothing. Even her friends left her. Some married and settled down, while she remained alone. They didn't want her bad advice to ruin their lives too." Oma saw Mama Stella at the market one day. The old woman smiled and said, "How is life, my dear?" Oma said nothing. She knew the woman had used her. She just looked at her and left quietly to avoid drama. On her birthday, Oma sat alone. No calls, no gifts, no love. She remembered Patrick's warm hugs and thoughtful surprises. She wept. Few years later, lonely Oma sat her female cousins down and began to warn them, "Don't leave a good man because of vanity. I made that mistake and I'm still paying for it." They smiled and nodded without saying anything. Few months later, she received a wedding invitation from one of her ex-boyfriends. She smiled sadly and tore the paper. "It will never be me," she whispered. Years later, Oma lived a quiet and lonely life. No husband, no child, no peace. Her beauty faded, but the pain remained. Every time she passed her old home and saw Patrick, Stella, and their children laughing, her heart broke again. She learned the hard way that not all advice comes from a good place, and not all that glitters is gold.